So good morning, everyone.
Morning.
All right, we're all here today to discuss Vita's. Where's Vita? There she is. Vita, please have a seat here. So we're here to conduct Vita's promotion review, and let's see. Normally, I chair these things, so I'll nominate myself to be the chair. Do I have a second? Okay. All right. Cool. So I'll go ahead and start the meeting. And read through why we're here. So the objective is to measure and determine the candidate is up for a promotion as a full-time employee as an HR assistant. So we'll be evaluating the candidate on the following metrics. Okay, so I'll read off the metrics. At the end, we will determine if these are the correct metrics. So the first one is on sales. So demonstrate achievement of work that produces revenue results. And we aim to achieve our revenue goals via HR by hiring qualified members and enough members to fill our squads at full strength, structure the optimal training to prepare new candidates to succeed in their roles, retain excellent employees via incentive programs that promote autonomy and alignment, and building the right teams to pursue our mission to become the world's most innovative hospitality company. Okay, second one is teamwork. Be the hero, help others first, and details matter. So that looks like volunteering for above and beyond duties, for both internal and external stakeholders, creating an innovative hospitality culture that's world-class, leadership, involvement, leadership, competency and leadership excellence attributes, being reliable and accountable to your chapter, squad, and guilds. Okay, so third metric is hospitality, to be the hero and help others first, promoting a culture that nurtures and develops people, selection of employees that exhibit high tendencies to nurture and develop others, and developing and defending a great hospitality culture inside the company. Okay, fourth metric is communication. Step on toes, don't assume, use data, and be transparent. Excellent verbal and written communication that improves transparency, certainty, and trust. A culture of evidence-based thinking versus bias-based thinking. Stepping on toes, sharing feedback that's not always nice to hear, but is necessary in order to foster a culture of continuous improvement. Okay, fifth metric is innovation. Never settle and fail fast. So upgrading processes via new projects that improve Bukit Vista's effectiveness, employee development and career effectiveness, employee satisfaction in those two realms, incredible resilience and endurance, undistracted by temporary failure in the quest to be 1% better every day. Sixth metric is be the hero, improving the reputation, brand awareness of Bukit Vista via all communication channels present and future. And the last metric is to be ownership. Be transparent, never settle, be the hero. Does this person own the issue, or do they pass along problems? If there's extra time, do they think of ways to improve the process to make Bukit Vista grow? And do they acknowledge failure? Okay, these will be the determining metrics for the promotion review. Is there any discussion about these metrics or about the way that we're going to conduct this promotion review using the metrics? Okay. All right. If there's no discussion, then can I get a second on this? Okay, it's been seconded by Alvin. Okay, let's put it to a vote. All in favor of using these metrics for the promotion review, please raise your hand now. Okay, good. All right. All right, so the metrics have been approved. Let's go over to the second area, which is the area of responsibility. The primary area of responsibility is talent recruitment and HR in Squad 1. Let's go to Vita. Is there anything else that we know that you're responsible for?
For HR, I mean, like for the chapter.
Areas of responsibility.
So, as for chapter, is going to be in HR, talent recruitment, and for squad in squad 1.
Okay.
For guilds is for DM. If it's
digital marketing.
Sense, yeah.
Okay. Will you be? Would you like the work that you've done in digital marketing to be considered here for your promotion review?
Actually, I just put that in terms of teamwork.
Okay.
But like the primary responsibilities are this.
Okay. So we'll put guild in digital marketing. Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else have any discussion about Vita's primary areas of responsibility? No? Okay. So we'll be looking at the scope of responsibility based on talent recruitment and HR Squad 1, and also guild teamwork on digital marketing. Okay, all right. Is there a second? Okay, it's been seconded by Dibba. Okay, let's put to a vote. All in favor of looking at this as Vita's area of responsibility, please vote now. Okay, all right, great. Okay, next one, the promotion committee. So the promotion committee will be the people who will decide whether or not Vita will be promoted in this instance. So currently there is Jing, he is the CEO and the HR chapter lead. There's Alvin, who's the squad lead and client. Nengli is a client. Tendi is also a client. Wayana is a client. And Dibba is also a client. Currently, I believe Tendi is not here because today is his day off, but he will be trying to join us later. Okay, so currently, we need to make a note that he is absent at the promotion committee. Okay, to Vita, is there anybody else that should be on this committee that isn't listed on this committee?
As per client, every chapter already been.
Ours on the advisory committee.
Every client is already represented.
Okay, all right. All right, is there any discussion about the promotion committee? No? Okay, all right. If there's no discussion, can somebody second this as the promotion committee? It's been seconded by Alvin. Okay, let's go. Oh, sorry, it should be the second first and then the discussion. Okay, but okay, let's go ahead. All in favor of having the promotion committee evaluate for this promotion review, vote now. Okay, all right. All opposed? Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. Was that an opposed or in favor?
I was voting for favor.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, thank you, Ara. All right, Ara is on the advisory committee. So the advisory committee is basically Ara's on the advisory committee because she is a colleague of Vita. So we do need the clients to be involved in the action promotion committee. But as a colleague, Ara has offered some supporting evidence and also feedback to generate more information for this promotion review. Okay. Let's see. Vita, is there anybody else or that should be on your advisory committee at this point?
If it's more into like the area responsibility, I think Ara is the only one that is kind of more tangible in the advisory committee.
Okay.
Because even if I want to put like squad mates, Alvin and Nengli and Dibba is already representation of squad one.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So then, okay. So then we'll carry ahead with the motion. Is there a second to have Ara on the advisory committee? Okay, it's been seconded by Wayana. Let's move to a vote. All in favor, please vote now for Ara on the advisory committee. Okay, great. All right, so we have our promotion committee, we have our advisory committee, we have the areas of responsibility, and we have the metrics. Let's go and take a look at supporting evidence now. So this supporting evidence has been put together by Vita, and the first supporting evidence is in the area of sales. So this is demonstrating achievement in work that produces revenue results and hiring qualified members to fill the squads, structure the optimal training, retain excellent employees, and building the right teams to pursue our mission. So these were already spoken of before. So let's take a look at some of this evidence right now. So Vita was recognized by Jing for Be the Hero. Vita's been tireless on recruiting and onboarding our newest candidates, seeing very patient and time-intensive orientation work she's done with Tito, Nadila, and Bubu. I trust this work will get our new members into PCI work faster. Okay, these are the people that have been hired by Vita and their corresponding status. So there was Karina. She was applying for online guest support. She was offered a contract, but she rejected it. Diana Cristianto was hired and resigned. Nadila was hired as part-time. Gita was offered contract, but rejected. Josh resigned. Ruth also resigned. Insani did not pass on-site trials. Mohammed Iksan offered second on-site trials.
But he also rejected that.
Okay, all right, he's not coming. All right, Trevina offered a temp contract. That's Vina, okay. Yeah. And Novi on-site trials.
Offered.
Okay, and offered full-time. Okay, all right. And then there's Kuldeep, Tito, and interns and orientation.
Well,
Okay,
these three are not the one that I'm not the one who hired, but I'm how do I say, like, I help with the onboarding HR orientation.
got it. Okay, all right, cool. Let's open up the floor for any discussion. Is there any discussion about some of this supporting evidence from anybody? No? Okay. All right. The time for discussion is now over. We will go to the next section. So the next section is teamwork. So on teamwork, be the hero. Volunteering, help others first and details matter. Volunteering for above and beyond duties. Internal and external stakeholders. Creating an innovative hospitality culture that's world-class. LILCLE attributes. Being reliable and accountable to your chapter squad skills. Okay, so on the first evidence, I volunteered to manage our Facebook inbox for inquiries, passing the messages to related chapter or squad. Okay, so Vita, maybe you can tell us about some of this evidence.
Yeah, so mostly a lot of people actually asking for properties or accommodation. So and mostly actually for squad too. So that's why I forwarded to Tandy. And then after I forwarded to him, like usually when I meet him at the base, I also like have you contacted the person and everything. So like the newest one was actually people asking for um, like long term for Kamisama. I forwarded to Chandra, and then the next day, the person still contacted on Facebook. So I suppose that she hasn't got contacted by Chandra. So I forwarded to Mas Tandy as well. So yeah.
Okay.
And also the other day, it was like 6 a.m. in the morning. I replied to a message asking for RTP for squad 2 as well in Canggu. And then I contacted Traffic for the status and everything. So it was kind of like comforted inquiry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, good. This is something that I've seen has been sometimes ignored with direct inquiries from our Facebook channel, and I think this is very good that that Vita is looking after making sure that that our communication with our clients is improved. Okay, great. Any discussion about this piece of evidence? Oh, okay, all right. Let's go over to the next part. So, made a volunteer to schedule, create caption, and write articles to manage our Instagram account. Okay, Vita, can you tell us more about this?
So yeah, actually I've been handling to post and manage our Instagram account since I think maybe September or October.
Mhm.
But however, at that time we still have Mas Novel. So I was just actually creating the copywriting for the captions, and the one who create the ideas and like the whole concept was Mas Novel.
Mhm.
But since he resigned last month, so then this month December I was the one who handles also like the content metrics and then the copywriting, the content as well together with Gary. So I put the results of the visitors. So the main idea of the Instagram right now is actually to raise awareness for partners and also guests because for HR it's in our Bukit Vista Live. So then the metric that we are counting is people who clicks on our bio for Manage My Villa and also travel with us. So with these two link, um, I see like improvement of number of clicks from November to December since I also create the content metrics. So for November's for BV Manage My Property, the total clicks were 20. And the next one. For BV Villas, the total clicks was 8. The target was actually 8 each. So the target, both targets are achieved in November 8, 20 and 8. And then next. And this one is the total visitors for the link, the BV bio link on Instagram, 72. In December, the number of the visitors of the link actually reducing into 68, if I'm not mistaken. Next slide. Um, this is December, yeah, this one.
Okay.
To 67 from 72. But however, the numbers of clicks into the target, the Manage My Villa increased into 24. And then the next one for guests also increased uh, from yeah, this one. For the guests, from 8 into 14.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. I'll ask a question on this one. This goes over to Dibba. Dibba, how many places do we have the Manage My Property link at the moment?
How many places that you mean that we put this link?
Mhm.
I think it's in our Instagram bio. And yeah, I think that's so far.
That's it.
Instagram bio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's probably no other sources where this link
Hmm.
is then.
Actually, if you look at the Bitly, you can also. I mean, this is a screenshot, right? If you visit the Bitly, we can all track the traffic coming from where.
Okay. All right. I'll just go ahead and take a look at that background. But okay. Any other discussion regarding Instagram and this particular piece of evidence? Nope. Okay. All right. Cool. I'll just take a look inside and see what the referrers are. Just as a piece of advice, just
Yeah.
show the referrers. That would show if it's a unique source or if it's coming from different sources. Okay, that looks good. Thank you for looking after the Instagram account. Is there anything on these links that you would like us to see?
It's just
Go ahead.
so this is the content metrics,
Mhm.
and also the post that been posted
Mhm.
is all here according to the dates
Oh
and
wow.
also the captions.
Mhm.
So this is for December, and then for November it's here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just the content metrics in this paper.
Okay. Cool. So this is your calendar planning. Your planning
Yeah,
calendar.
for
Okay.
the Instagram.
Okay. Cool. Good stuff. Okay, let's. I'm just kind of curious. Oh wait, this is. Okay, we'll continue. All right, and then point C. I volunteered to become the event director for the All Asia Host Meetup. Key learnings are included in the paper below. Okay, Vita, maybe you can tell us more about that.
Okay, so basically, for the November event, I realized a lot of things to actually on how to run. How do you say? To run a event.
Mhm.
I mean, previously, the only event that we had was just like conference that we already know all the people, so it was easier to manage and everything. So a lot of things that I learned was actually more into like the follow up actions on how people are actually preparing. As an event director, I'm not just like actually creating the let's say the schedule, but also like the agenda, but also like follow up the people who are yeah, who is assigned for the task to do, and make sure way before the D-Day that it's all been taken care of.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I remember I wrote some feedback here actually
Yeah, that's very
about that.
cool.
Okay, any discussion about Vita's involvement in November as the event director for the host meetup? Oh, okay, all right, cool. Let's continue going then. Let's see. Okay, next one. Run through Ara's vision about the STP group. Go ahead and tell us more about that.
Yeah, actually for the STP booth, since Ara was like handling this from Jogja, so she created like the design and everything for the booth, and then me, Divanda, and Mas Rizal actually like going for like buying the printing out the pictures and then buying the how do I say the decorations, and then we also went to STP and like we ordered go box that we didn't actually plan to
I
bring
remember that.
the table from here. So a lot of pivots actually done in the STP booth, and we also like got the winner for the first best booth from STP. Yeah, we got one.
Okay, great. Any discussion on this particular point? Okay.
And from STP actually we got one hired Novi.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Very good. Very good. Okay. This is one where I saw actually Vita go, I think, really above and beyond. She was being a good teammate by executing somebody Ara's vision on this particular project. And there was a lot of corrections that we made constantly to improve the flow and drive more and more people through the booth. And yeah, so I will definitely support this piece of evidence here. Okay, so that pretty much concludes the teamwork parts. Um, Any other discussions about teamwork, about Vita that we need to think about before we move on to the next subject? Oh, okay. All right. Oh, the Bitly finally showed up. Let me just take a quick look at that. So let's see. What was the Bitly? Manage my property, right? Okay, so this is just kind of a quick verification. Let's see. Okay. So this is why we want to see the refers. So BB bio for, let's see, is 15, but the majority are coming from email, SMS, and direct, and also Facebook as well. I'm not sure if Facebook includes Instagram or is it Facebook proper. I'll turn that over to Dibba. Dibba, do you know if, let's say, for example, does this include, is this Instagram or is this from some other place on the Facebook property?
From Facebook. I think the one that is from BT Bio is the BT Bio that my striking link. That one is from the link that we put in our bio on Instagram.
I see. Okay. All right. So basically, if it's growing currently, let's see if we can break that down. We can't break it down, right? Okay. All right. This is just about attribution. If it's, let's say, 15 out of maybe 150 there so far, so we can attribute all the growth to just this link. We have to also consider it might be other channels too as well. Okay, and then the other one was BB Bio, right?
Villa. Travel with us.
Travel with us. So listen, go ahead and take a look at that. I think that should be a little bit more. Travel with BB, yeah? Okay. It's also a breakdown between email, SMS, and direct, and also it's 2 to 1. Okay. All right. So there is contribution. I'm not saying that there isn't, but it's also other sources coming in for that one. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's go on to the next subject, which is about hospitality. On hospitality, as discussed before, it's about being the hero and helping others first. For HR, it's about promoting a culture that nurtures and develops people, selection of employees that exhibit high tendencies to nurture and develop others, and also developing and defending a great hospitality culture inside the company. Okay, so Vita, tell us about your first piece of evidence.
Okay, so this is actually like I think quite new practice as well in Bukit Vista to have like one-on-one. So in September I did the initial one-on-one with members from Squad One. And this is just the extract. I also have like the script from every one-on-one, but it's like the extract on like what I got. So then we kind of like implement this into other spots as well. For the one-on-one to Ara to squad 2, like we to squad 4 at that time. So yeah, I believe that by having this actually like we can hear out what the people think or what the people feels about the company, and we can take actions from that. So I mean, it contributes to like the well-being and the development of the people themselves. So that's the purpose of having that one-on-one.
Great. Okay. Is there any discussion about the one-on-one process that we just started? Okay. I have one question, which is, what is this evolved now into something else, or is it just?
Actually, from the one-on-one extract, I tried to bring it up to our HR guild, and then also that's actually what sparks the first the turnover rates discussion as well.
Okay, got it. Do we still do one-on-ones? Are we planning still to do one-on-ones?
As that one, the September one was actually like initial one-on-one. I think there should be like another one-on-one as well.
Okay.
Just like check on.
All right, and then tell us about the next piece of evidence.
Employee turnover rates. This is where almost everyone here involved as well. Actually, talking about the turnover rate. I mean, this is part of like one of the challenge that we faced in Bukit Vista. For example, people thought that we are not taking actions in ESS or maybe like about the salary and everything, and as HR as well. We actually take actions into that, like by creating the new contract and then putting AC in Scott to things like this.
Okay.
The bunk bed. Yeah, the bunk bed as well.
The most visible.
The most visible.
And easy to measure items. Okay, all right, cool. Tell us about the next few ones.
The next one is the birthday celebration. I think we have never missed any birthday yet. I mean, we didn't celebrate Nengli's birthday because she wasn't here during the birthday. But yeah, these are
Okay.
the birthday celebrations.
And what's this?
This is the Secret Santa Christmas.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. Great. Hey, tell me what's happening here. Actually, I'm kind of curious.
So this is after all hands when you were still in Japan. It was actually quite awkward, right? Like we wanted to merge Dibba's birthday with Winnie's and Eva farewell, but she didn't come. So we just keep the cake in the fridge, and then like I told Mas Bayus the chair of that day, like Mas, after all hands, can we just like do a little celebration for Dibba, and then yeah, clearly she wasn't happy with the cake.
Or maybe she
Right.
did.
It was evenly distributed.
Yeah. That's actually the first cake that was well consumed by everyone because Diva just like cut the big chunk.
Nice, generous slices. Okay, very good. I thought that was kind of interesting because
And everyone
is participating. Yeah.
participating too.
Oh, fantastic. Very good. Okay, and the Christmas event we just had. Absolutely. Can you go now? Okay. Stay. All right. Guest visit by Rafik. Okay, fantastic. So this then summarizes the hospitality discussion. And is there anything else we need to discuss about? Does anybody else have any questions or comments about this section on hospitality, the metric on hospitality for Vita? No? Okay. All right, let's continue. On innovation. Innovation never settle, fail fast. Upgrading processes via new projects that improve Bukit Vista's effectiveness through employee development and career effectiveness, and also through employee satisfaction. Incredible resilience and endurance, undistracted by temporary failure in the quest to be 1% better every day. Okay, all right, so the very first one is, go ahead, Vita, tell us more about these.
Yeah, for the first one is actually value recognition for the video making, like the office tour, which actually I'm quite proud of the video that we got a lot of viewers without ads for this video, and like it's also kind of like a new material for HR in a way that we introduce our office as well. Like people now in interview always mentioning, yeah, I saw your office tour and blah blah blah. Your office seems like warm and everything. So yeah,
Okay,
a brief highlight on our culture.
okay, great.
And the second one is STP, the one that we mentioned. Like it was really like a lot of pivots in there, and it was just like kind of feel like everyone was actually working together. So it's not really like on my credits, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Yes, I would consider these. I wrote them, I guess. So I thought it was really good because HR before was doing things without the benefit of, let's say, content support. And particularly on the video, I don't think Vita had any experience. I think you edited it on like iMovie
Yes.
or basically the most basic video editor. But I thought that was really it took a lot of initiative, and also sometimes people think, oh, I need to have the skills before I go ahead and do this. But I think we practiced a little bit with the new gimbal, and we just shot it. So that part was really cool, and also being able to constantly pivot and seek better optimization is definitely a wellspring of innovation. Okay, cool. All right, next one.
Yeah.
Tell us about the quiz night.
Yeah, so the second one was it was just the method of having the it was long because it was the questions for the quiz, so people sorry, yeah. So the method that I was using, actually using Kahoot. So it was kind of like it shows on the screen the questions, and then the answer is on your phone. So everyone is actually using their phones, and the screen are in the picture, and then we can see like the names of the people who answered correctly with time sensitive as well.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I recently, if I can comment, I saw other companies use this on LinkedIn too. I think it was one of our competitors was using this too as well. So, okay, cool. Quiz night. All right, and third piece of evidence. Go ahead and
Yeah, the
tell us
third
more about
one is actually Instagram platform for HR.
Mhm.
Since we differentiate now the main Instagram for guests and partners, and the main Bukit Vista Live is for HR. So the function is actually as a landing page, another landing page on how actually working in Bukit Vista feels like or looks like. And these are the attachment that how do I say? I screenshot like people actually get a referee from social media um, to
incredible.
Trello, like not just from jobs or LinkedIn, but also from social media.
Okay, very good. Any discussion on this one? No. Oh, there's
No.
another. Okay. Quick question: Have we?
Yeah.
How far have these candidates gotten? Have we hired any candidate from social media?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. All right, but it is definitely getting awareness.
Yeah, the awareness is there. Yeah, even like people asking for questions through the Instagram.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got it. Crazy. All right. So, next one.
So yeah, this is the Halloween night, which I learned a lot of things from as well. But it was like also I would put this in the improvement because like it was kind of the first time that we have our own troops and carnivals
Mhm.
in that things. But I learned that actually we might need like smaller place that is more intimate that everyone will just like talk to one another because I learned that from our bonfire, for example, it was like huge area and people was just like going everywhere. But like when we had our Thanksgiving and Christmas, it was really like there, like the intimacy were there, like everyone was just talking to one another.
Okay. Any other takeaways from Vita's event? I also want to say thank you to Vita for actually sharing this. So many promotion reviews, we just only really see the achievements, but not where there was learning opportunities. So I think it's very transparent to actually show not just where you won, but like you tried and didn't go the way you wanted, but you did take away some learnings from that. So that part is good. If I also may add on the Halloween, I think getting people to arrive at relatively the same time
Yeah,
is also pretty
many
important.
events have to be, this time, this
Yeah.
time. That this is the schedule, or otherwise you miss like the first event, the second event, the third event.
Um,
I mean, the third, second, yes.
okay, cool. Very good. Next one, HR handover workflow. Let's go and talk about that, Vita.
This is basically like the steps that HR has to do
Mhm.
when we are actually onboarding someone from
Okay.
like pre-onset trials. What should we do? Like creating the paper, invite the persons.
Mhm.
So pre-onset trials, during onset trials, the D-day of the onset trials, last day of onset trials, 1 or 2 days after our last day of onset trials, which is like getting the feedbacks and also getting back to the candidates.
Mhm.
And then also like after the candidate passed probation or something,
Okay.
and to update like the LinkedIn.
Okay. All right. Cool. Any discussion on this? No? Okay. All right. I have one thing. Sometimes I notice that there's a lot of people who are asking for access to this, and it goes for days without getting access. Um, it's a little bit odd, but okay. All right, that's probably split between all of the HR chapter on that one. All right, next one, documented exit interview. Let's go ahead and take a look at that.
So these are actually the two people that are resigning.
Mhm.
That we cannot put them into one paper, documented paper where the exit interview. So maybe the next one that will be added to will be like Tito
Mhm.
to have the exit interviews. So I just like to have a brief feedback as well from the people who are resigning, like why are they resigning, and then like what will be like the thing that you like about us and everything. So what can be improved and what can be still maintained.
Okay, got it. All right, and last one is the weekly article post to activate website?
Yeah. So this is actually I'm posting like weekly articles to our website. Um, and after I wrote and post the articles, I also post that on Instagram. So basically, all the articles are either it's, let's say, how do I say, like a recommendation on what to do in Ubud, for example, or what kind of activities you can do in villas, and then it's all linked to our properties as well. So
Okay.
they're still back in.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So that finishes the innovation metric. Okay, any discussion on that? Any other further comments or questions? Or okay, let's move on. Next metric is on brand. Brand to be the hero, improving the reputation, brand awareness of Bukit Vista via all communication channels, present and future. Okay, and so Vita, please tell us about brand.
So actually, as I'm not handling like direct in-person and everything, so I believe like by having a live Instagram and also managing the main Instagram and also becoming the point of contact for Facebook are sufficient proof for actually to represent the brand that how do I say, like put on as a beavers.
Okay.
Also, I mean, one other proof is actually like Fena, because she saw Bukit Vista through my stories and everything, so that's why she asking like, do you actually have a fake friend now? And she just
Okay. All right. Any discussion on this? I'd like to also highlight I think one of your biggest brand touch points are the people you interview. Actually, that's where I know it might seem like it's just part of your job, but who you interview and how you interview people will be the lasting impression for much more people than actually work there. So, and also the job descriptions you made, actually, also on JobStreet and LinkedIn, that's also reflecting the brand. Those are highly targeted, and I think those have even wider reach than Instagram so far. So think about those channels too. Yeah. Okay. On communication. Communication. Step on toes. Don't assume. Use data. Be transparent. Okay. So we talked about these previously at the top. Tell us more about this.
so this is actually like talking about like can I see it? Communication, right?
Mhm.
So on highlighting more into like the step on those actually like for example like the discussion on turnover rates discussion, like it's been there but keep being pushed at the back of the blind side, the blind spot. So it was quite like still I mean not still, but because we're working on it now, so it was a thing that really not a common thing to discuss about, and also the discussion on HR things that on HR guild, I mean, like about full deposit trials, like kind of like special case and everything. So it was a thing that just actually for me just like a thing that bugged my mind. So that's why I just pick it out. Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Communication.
That's definitely what we want. Okay. Any other discussion on this particular metric? Oh, okay. All right. And I think this is the last one on ownership. Okay. Talk to us about ownership.
Okay, so ownership is like more like acknowledging failure. So the first one that was mentioned before was like the November event, the learning that I learned, and then the Halloween as well. And this one actually like the giveaway. I was actually in Labuan Bajo at that time, and then I just like announced all the people participating on the giveaway. But then Ara approached me also. Jing approached me like isn't that supposed to be just only like the STP visitors? And then like I actually approached the first winner, which was actually my friend, and then who was actually my friend, and I approached her, and then she was like, "Oh, okay, it's okay." And then like I re-announced that the the announcement, and then she actually went to fill out demo already, and then the picture was also already uploaded on our Instagram.
Okay.
And, yeah, and the ownership of like employee turnover rates. I mean, I believe like it was really like uncomfortable discussion, but if it was not for the people, I wouldn't do that. like, I mean, why would I put myself in a uncomfortable situation, right?
Mhm.
So, but I mean, I take ownership as like an HR. I need to take care of the being of the people, so that's why I brought up the issues, and also I created the learning papers for the learnings that I learned from any events or anything like that. So in October as well, like so this is the new things that we have right now, the new practices for on-site trials. We don't create or we don't schedule their agenda, like, you know, the first day it's going to be at this time you will be doing this with this, blah 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 blah. But we just like put the first day, and then on the first day actually they will learn some basic skills, and they will have sometimes as well to create their own on-site trials for the second until the sixth day, um, and also contact the people who will be their buddy. So in a way that why actually the first thing that sparks this idea was because during on-site trials sometimes like HR, me and Ara should do a lot of things before we send out the paper just to confirm with the body. Can you do this at this hour and blah blah blah. If not, then we arrange again the schedule. By having this, actually, the candidate will contact them directly and, during the day, so that in a way that we can see the way of they communicate to the body as well, the way of their communication. Do they actually communicate well to the people and deliver the purpose of them contacting the body as well, and also we can see their time management and project management as well, and how they create the agenda.
All right, very cool. Structural stuff. Okay, great stuff. So that pretty much is the summary of all the evidences. Now, is there any further discussion on this, on Vita's evidence? Okay, all right, let's go into the heart of it then. Let's start first from advisory committee from Ara. So Ara, as the first advisor, has given some of her thoughts. I'll read it through. So on sales, Ara says, looking through at other activities that Vita involved in reflected how she can contribute on the sales. She's actually taking care of our Instagram and our Facebook. On teamwork, an HR chapter, to be more specific, HR has done great help. She's always there to help and cover my beat every time I need her. Example can be mentioned like the STP fair occasion and many other cases. Okay, hospitality. I like how Vita could always be as hospitable as possible in any kind of situation. As an HR, it's really important to transmit the vibe of being hospitable and true to others. Communication. Vita has good communication skills. She knows how to approach and getting the team to open up to her. On innovation, she does show some fresh ideas during her probation time. Evidences are all attached above. On brand, I can see Vita involved in raising Bukit Vista brand awareness by actively joining the digital marketing and taking care of our life at Bukit Vista. Okay. And on ownership, she cares about the feeling of each team member and how to bring our company vision and mission forward. She also cares about the company structure and the employee sustainability by administering the turnover rate discussion. Helpful advice for Vita in terms of hiring, try to be more selective on selecting a candidate, because in the end, these are also essential for HR to hire the right person if you're concerned about the turnover rate. In terms of making decisions, I believe you have good potential on that one. You need to sharpen your own judgment without having to consider too much on others. Okay, and in terms of HR ethics, I think you need to be wiser about transparency. In some cases, you need to filter better what can or can't be delivered, especially in public room discussions. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Ara, for that piece of input. As Ara is on the advisory committee, Ara, do you have any further things to say or contribute in this discussion?
I think that's pretty much it. It just my concern would be I highly support if Vita is like love to involve in any other what is it activities like DM or maybe I don't know related to any other chapters. But it just I have difficulties on actually connecting sometimes what she's doing on digital marketing related to HR itself as the main task.
Okay, all right, well understood, and thank you for that comment. Okay, if that's it, Ara, then I will excuse you, and I'll let you get back to your daily duties. The rest of the discussion will, or you can stay if you want, but if you have anything else that you need to do, then that is priority now. Okay, so that is Ara on the advisory committee. Now we'll go over to take a look at Dibba. So Dibba has contributed on this. On sales, she says HR contribution to sales is not as sweet as they promise in their SLA. Yeah, But since Vita joins, a lot of new things happens on the HR that never happened before. She improves the onboarding process until trial day. She's worked hard on the JD, the job description, and the interview process. We'd like to see more quality than quantity in the future. We'd also bring up the retention rate. That was all the company. I think this is a really good start. Remember, HR is such a young chapter in BB. Kudos. Okay. Teamwork. Vita goes beyond her duty as HR to join digital marketing activities. I remember she helped me to write some articles for the DM campaign I was working on. Then she started to join DM regularly, and now she's taking care of our social media platform. She also volunteers to be the event director of the November event. Okay. On hospitality 101 with employees important for HR, she's done that. I remember my first one-on-one with Vita is really comfortable. She didn't even touch her laptop. We're just eating dinner together and talks. Everything felt organic. Okay. She really does care about her teammates. Vita brings employee turnover rates in order to improve our employees' working quality and prosperity. And I know that she's not doing this for herself. Proof she's making sure the issue got fixed first and start working on this promotion with people. Okay. Communication. I told Vita on her early days, for a new person, you're quite observant, but she doesn't stop there. She tries to understand the problem, fix it as well. Quite vocal. Got balls. I like. Okay. Innovation. Vita got some innovation in the company, both inside and outside of her chapter work. Nice to see some fresh ideas and programs that will improve our company. On brand, she understands what her brand is and what's not. She shouted it loud on Bukit Vista Life, Bukit Vista main IG. Want to see more on other platforms, but she's interested on working on our social media. I believe brand doesn't stop at company social media. Vita carries brand of hospitality with her herself and her everyday life as well. Great. And ownership. Vita admits her failure. She documented it. She asked for feedback for her works and actions. Not a lot of people does that. Looking forward to her development. Helpful advice for Vita: quality over quantity. Listen to every employee. Understand what one-on-one approach that will make them the most comfortable with. You make me feel it once. I think you can do it again. More detail on event creating and running. I think you have interest in running an event, and a sharp eye and ear will be great tools. This will be a useful tool in every work aspect as well. We'd like to see some innovation you can put forward in HR, for example, faster adding new candidates. And then also review the HR SLA, whether it's still relevant or not. Okay, thank you very much, Dibba. Dibba, any other comments that you'd like to vocalize and speak forward?
No, this is good.
That's it, yeah? Very good. Okay, thank you for the very conclusive summary. Next one goes over to Wayana. So Wayana says that on sales for MB perspective, Vita is very actively helping inquiries from Facebook and also info, the squad's team. On teamwork, Vita cares about the team and does things outside of her scope. On hospitality, Vita is hospitable and a happy person. Please keep that good energy. On communication, Vita is very observant and listens to what others are trying to say. On innovation, Vita, since you joined, I've seen many innovation happen. And sometimes you brought a comfortable case. It's so that you have courage. Okay, and I admire that. I think it's a very good start for Vita. One-on-one with the team and include me, I saw that you want to understand people around you, and this is a very good HR practice. On brand, Vita cares about brand, and I like that she make action to make a BV Live channel. I thought that's something new and fresh idea. And ownership, Vita is really thinking about her role and thinking how to improve her role, and always looking for feedback and improvement there. Helpful advice for Vita: innovation HR needs how to improve the flow of candidate. Since we are hiring young people and expect people in and out a lot, but if we have a steady flow of people, it will help us grow as a company. My advice for Vita is when you see or smell something not right, need to be more calm and wise and take charge like a mother. Never make a decision based on emotional, angry, or scared. Okay, all right, Wayana, over to you for further comments or discussion.
That's pretty much it. I think for HR, because you're the front funnel, I think when there is something like so you the person have to be more calm, so that not panic about it. So they have to be calm and just make the decision, like if it's something that you do not like discuss internally with HR. Whatever that you need, and then spread out to the public discussion, because that's what make people not panic like what is going on.
Okay, all right. Cool, let's go on to the next one. This was Tendi. Tendi is currently not here, but has Tendi given his proxy vote to anybody yet? No? Okay. Ask Tendi if he wants to proxy his vote to anyone, otherwise it'll be like a kind of a hole. Okay, let's see. On Tendi says that Vita helps sales by hiring candidates and make the team stable so they can focus on revenue management. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure who can focus on revenue management, but all right. Second one, team. Alvin.
Maybe again.
I see. So that's
Because,
secretly.
like, somebody can take over the hosting duty and then
Got it.
that's
Got it.
I think.
Okay. So we assume this means so that he can focus on revenue management. Okay.
So that I can focus.
Oh yeah.
Alvin and I or somebody.
Okay. Sounds logical. Yes. Vita on teamwork. Vita had helped to do one-on-one with team and asked for friction feedback for Bukit Vista. She also helped me for the workshop at STP. For hospitality, she arranged birthday for the team. It's hospitable. Communication, she has good communication if I need her or if I need help. Innovation, she make the BV live and maintain the BV activity photos. She also make video with Jing for the tour and the BV base. Both bases. Brand, Vita has joined and helped for STP job fair, and she also maintained the Facebook for advertising Bukit Vista. Ownership, she came up with the idea for BV turnover rates and called the senior for discuss. And employee feedback should care about BV and the employees. Okay. All right, great. Cool. Let's go to the next evaluator. Now, this is coming from Nengli. Nengli says on sales, HR needs to learn to hustle one-on-one. The basics is not there yet. This is especially important when the company is limited by its resources. Okay, so how does HR with the limited resources hire the best talents, or how is HR enhancing this? This is still not clear for me, so I cannot provide further feedback. Teamwork. Vita is by far one of the best team players I've seen at Bukit Vista. She knows when to say yes and when to push back, supported by logic. Teamwork is not always about saying yes to everyone. It's about having the team's best interest at heart, and having the courage to say no, but more importantly, thinking deeply to back her decision. Sometimes that comes form of a no or something else, but yes. She has on some occasions told me she does not think my format or process in selecting candidates is the best way forward, and she has also contributed by building on top of my idea. Very good. Very thorough. Okay, hospitality. Hospitality is felt, not shown. So I can't cite any examples, but in my view, Vita is definitely a warm person and a hospitable employee. That said, in the context of HR, I feel being hospitable means caring deeply about solving the most difficult problems in the company, which is the well-being of our coworkers while balancing the company's interests as well. What this means is it goes beyond asking how your day is or extending to a request. With that said, I'm not an expert in HR, but my humble opinion, I feel gaining better alignment between employee and company is the true definition of hospitality in HR. Communication. Vita is timely with her updates to MB. On most occasions, I've seen Vita sieve and surface the most important details. Her communication is not muddled in nitty-gritty information, and this shows some high-level communication skills. However, for Vita to raise herself to the next level, she needs to be able to articulate complex ideas and thoughts in a succinct manner. Okay, on innovation. HR is a rather complex discipline to innovate. By and large, I've not seen any practical innovation or game changers in the HR field. So I feel innovation in HR is a very tall order. That said, she has introduced some never been done activities in BV. Although not truly innovative, she has nonetheless introduced and executed many new elements as seen in her supporting evidence above. On brand, I feel Vita encompasses most of the BV values, and that's good enough. I don't think there's anybody who encompasses all BV values anyways. Given her job, I think she's probably one of the few who knows the brand inside and out. And on ownership and squad sync-ups, Vita does prep for meetings. She comes with written updates and is very often able to share details of her own tasks when she is being asked. I've also witnessed Vita take responsibilities for her mistakes. What I feel Vita can do more of is to take control and ownership of areas that she is uncertain. For example, MB trials. Even though she has no experience in all facets of HR, it is also possible to do research and come up to meetings with new ideas. Okay, on helpful advice, Vita, you need to truly immerse yourself in how HR functions in a startup, what are HR priorities, and what truly brings impact so we can level up as a company. Maybe young, but so is your chapter. There's nothing holding you back from introducing bold new things that can make impact. One of the most wonderful things about BV is your role, your title, your position, or whatever it is called, does not define what you can do in this company. HR is a very young chapter in our company, and you have the opportunity to build our foundation. Not many people get this opportunity, so see this opportunity and introduce as many things as you can and lead us toward the right path. Be bold and be brave. I feel you understand this the immense value this opportunity holds, and MB is rooting for the HR team. We're here to support you guys in whatever innovations or best practices suitable for BV that you guys would like to roll out. Hashtag tag team. Yeah, very good. Nengli, any further comments or discussion about that?
Maybe the one thing that bring back to all the evidence is I think maybe one thing you can consider in terms of development with is I think follow up actually. Yeah, I think a follow up can be better. But that's aside from that, I think that's the only thing that's new.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that contribution, Nengli. Let's continue. Next one is from Alvin. Okay. Alvin on sales says that sales part and HR is supported by Vita in the process of training on-site trials for new candidates. She also discussed with other teams to get better result for the candidate after they finish the training. She also has a project looking for RM candidate by observing and learning the RM qualification needed. On teamwork, she's always discussing with other members first to make sure that what she's doing is really helpful and needed to reduce the friction that can happen. On hospitality, she defines definitely hospitable and have high empathy. Communication, just like in our team, she tried her best to discuss first to reduce future friction. On innovation, exit interview is the one that I noticed. There's good documentation for the future of HR in this company. And on brand, she handled Bukit Vista Life IG. I think that's part of it, but I can't comment too much. And on ownership, she's responsible to follow up what she do. All Asia hosts meetup or employee turnover discussions, trying her best to finish up all the issue of it and find the solution that's for that issue. Helpful advice for Vita: keep listening to others, and that's the first part that is needed as HR. Always learn regarding HR and what's really needed in the current phase of the company. I'm not sure if you read this, but try to look about cheap heart office references to Gary Vaynerchuk company. It's pretty interesting things on HR. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Alvin, any further discussion or comments?
It was on the discussion, but for Vita, as of now, you're the one that I think primarily is as of now, even for GC, he's still a CEO, and Ara is a part-time in the end, and I'm not a full-time after this one, few class, normally full-time HR in the end. So I think looking for the next step, and also just about necessarily getting you follow up what you need to do as a full-time HR itself, therefore you need to pick up. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Alvin. Okay, let's go into my parts. Okay, so I thought about this extensively. I know Vita actually quite well. I think I was one of the first persons we saw when we came onto base. Vita came nice and early on the very first day of her work, and we work right next to each other. And we've gone to travel together to Jogja. We've been to career fairs. So, and I see Vita as my protege. Yeah, I want a lot of the philosophies and the thoughts that have built up, let's say, in my job experience to transfer over to Vita. So I put quite a lot of thought into these pieces, and I want to be as explicit as possible while being as supportive as possible too. So on sales, for HR, I see people support the processes, and the processes support the sales. So that's essentially the chain of how sales happen. And my question is, are we better off people-wise than before Vita? So we look at the strength of the candidates that she's hired and the strength of the company culture where she's been involved. In this dimension, I don't see a lot of benefit yet. Most of the hires that Vita has brought have not passed probation or have resigned. Company culture in November and early December was in decline, and Squad 1 is still struggling in terms of revenue and also property attrition. So my suggestion for important is balance and feedback seeking. So we have improved internal processes. We believe that reduced turnover by issuing new contracts with higher pay. We are also seeking, I think we should also seek candidates proactively rather than limiting ourselves just to job boards. When the job board function started to get, let's say, repetitive and we didn't see anything, I took the personal initiative to start pushing out in the university segment. And I hope that can also be just a inspiration for whenever you get stuck. The definition of insanity is to do the same thing while expecting a different result. And so don't be insane. Try to use that as a signal to innovate towards either new boards or new practices or new ways of attracting candidates. There's a lot of people who would really want to work there. We've seen that. We've seen their faces. We've seen their expressions. It's about really finding that cluster of people that are really passionate about a company like this, and then moving our efforts to absorb more of that type of candidate. So when we follow up on a successful channel, I'd like to follow you up on the Wayana reporting work. We have had a lot of really good candidates, and we will continue to have good candidates, such as campus visits, guest lectures, invite more internships, sponsorships, and events. This has been a really good discovery, and I'd like to share that discovery with you too as well. Okay, and on teamwork, I see high potential, high potential and leadership capability. However, this is still quite early, and I think it needs more time to fully develop. Your communication, energy, and drive is there, but I'm not sure you have the full respect and cooperation of the company. To get real leadership respect, I think you need to develop an achievement record, and this could be in the form of crucial hires, new innovations in hiring practices, and better retention strategies. So your team, I think, currently works with you in sort of a colleague way, but like Alvin just mentioned, we want you to be a primary HR person. And so for that, they need to be able to trust you. They need to be able to say, hey, HR is going to make good decisions, and they have a good track record of doing that. So on that part, that's the aspiration I'm looking for. On hospitality, Vita is very hospitable and very cheerful. My day is always brightened by your good humor and positive energy. And I think you take the welfare of employees very seriously, and you think about helping your teams achieve. So full marks on hospitality. On communication, I think you do a terrific job of being very involved and present in all communication mediums. I see that you have very strong communication capability and great listening skills. I think you do need to communicate your anxieties a little bit better, perhaps ask for help in times of uncertainty. It's brave to do new things. It's also braver to ask for help to do new things too as well. And I appreciate how you speak up and stand on your position when you really believe in something. I think that's an aspect of great communication. On innovation, I think you're well poised to develop very promising projects there. And I like how you have pushed past boundaries here at the company and invited discussion around necessary but uncomfortable topics. You're amazingly activity driven, and I think this is a renaissance spirit. It's vital to keep the flame for innovation strong. A lot of activities have been experimented and explored by Vita. I'll give full credit to you at this point in your development and innovation, but in further, let's say, development, I think you need to identify and focus on a strategy to build competency. I have complete confidence in your ability to innovate, but the activities need to be result driven instead of activities just for activity's sake. On a brand, I think you have a strong understanding and appreciation of our core values. I think the Instagram initiative has been good activity to generate a moderate audience. And the question is Instagram helpful to achieve our recruitment and retention goals? That's why I asked if we've actually hired somebody from Instagram. But remember this, that social media is a tool. It's a tool to enhance real relationships and not be a proxy for it. So it works a lot better if you go out and meet people and then you invite them to become your followers on social media. Organic social media growth can happen, but a lot of, let's say, in our position as HR, where it's more of the contextual relationship that is important. It does help to actually meet physical people and then bring them in to be followed up on social media. I think you've been highly involved in brand events, guest lectures, recruiting fairs, daily interviews. These are all your brand touch points. And the next thing is to think about how to access even more scalable brand solutions and think about how your touch points can go out and influence others, then influence others to also join this company. Okay, my helpful advice are that the key results HR is looking are for fulfilling the HR SLAs and also inventing new SLAs to be relevant to our work. If currently the SLAs are, let's say, difficult, then we need to think about how to renegotiate them with the parties involved, and also think about what parts need to be done, like as we did for inquiries and reservation requests. Very difficult, but I think we're slowly getting there. We're seeing progressive improvement. So we've changed our job description, but has that actually resulted in a greater number of applicants or better applicants? Our Trello board is overfilling with candidates at the front, but why are so few getting to the end? And we spend quite a lot on company culture. It's getting to be about 20 to 30 million a month, but we're still unable to attract and retain at a reasonable level. we've upgraded salary for people at the company, but even after receiving new contracts, Gabby and Tito have both resigned. So, what are the new retention expectations? We have a lot of activities now, but is it simply for the sake of activity, or are we building culture? The orphanage event was actually something I thought that was very meaningful and soul-filling. So, how can we do more of that? Rather than just pausing on an activity and seeking a new thrill, how should we actually do CSR in a way that helps us feel more fulfilled as employees and also contributes more? So that's a case of not pivoting, but actually digging deeper and seeing how we can extend that. And how long does it actually take to fully train and develop a candidate? When is a candidate ready? Currently, we're using promotion reviews, but is there a faster way? So when we bring in a candidate, we say this candidate is ready, and they'll be up to full speed. Do we have a timeline for when we can actually get that guaranteed to our squads? So, in conclusion, I think this is pioneering work. Perhaps we're one of the first to actually build a genuine startup culture in Indonesia. I think it will require a lot of reflection, experimentation, some honest failures on the way. But I do believe your growth minded self-learner and you have an excellent box to action. And I hope this guidance will help. Okay, all right. So that is pretty much it. And Vita, this is your turn to exit the room, and we'll have a discussion about your promotion. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Okay. So, any discussion at this point about? Yeah. Okay. So, does anyone have a motion? Okay. Alvin has a motion to pass Vita for her promotion. Is there a second? Okay, it's been seconded by Nengli. Wayana. Okay, all right. So that opens up for discussion. Let's start the discussion. Go ahead, Alvin.
Well, we take a look at what is the benchmark for the full-time employee. I think it's a report from right. Yes. Basically, if it's improvement, surely pass everything.
Yes.
So that's why actually I think pass. As simple as that.
Okay, very good.
But
Very
if you
good.
think about the next step, I already told you right. I think she also need to take a look at to focus on what to do as an HR, and not just recruitment. She also need to understand about how the process of developing her colleagues in the end as an HR. Also, she also need to understand, let's say, the model of the HR and everything else. And of course, I'm also maybe I don't know much about the HR, but I think that's also the homework on looking for it. What is the she have a lot of ideas, she have a lot of initiative, but she also need to think that they can be achieved or not. Did it actually align or not in the end, right? So I think that's only homework that she need to be concerned.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion about this particular topic that Alvin's raised about, like, I guess the key is focused in that particular dimension. Okay. Okay. Dibba, were you able to hear what Alvin just said?
A little bit.
Okay. So, Alvin, we'll come over here and I'll let you reiterate. After.
You guys.
So, if I can summarize, Alvin speak.
Okay, so better.
Yo, my man.
Okay, okay, so basically, to make it simple, if we just talk about the full-time employee benchmark on someone pass or not, Vita is pass. That's benchmark because in the end, full-time employee is only 4 months. That's the simple of it. But for the next step itself, I think she also need to focus on as an HR what she need to do. I think everyone also agree. She do a lot of things. She also doing the Instagram and everything else. But if she always doing like that, she will focus in the end. That's something that we need to also concern. It doesn't mean that we don't trust her. Let's say I don't. It doesn't mean I don't trust her. But I also concerned that sometimes she also doesn't really calculate or she doesn't really she does sometimes maybe she lost in the end. So I think her homework is basically looking for what kind of the HR approach, HR tools, anything else that actually align or let's say can be used in this current phase of our company. Because just like what we discussed previously, in the future, she's the primary HR that we have. So she also have a lot of homework on how to do an HR in this company.
Got it. Very well spoken, Alvin. Thank you very much. Any further discussion?
I think for me it just I agree with Alvin. It just needs more purpose. I understand that she like to go involved in a lot of things, but it's as if if after this to be the main HR like we know at the think she need like more focus, like understanding like the psychology of each person to to help her to how can develop what is the techniques that she will develop what kind of system or what kind of next step that people like in the language if you understand like more like and how like people psychology work because I know maybe not that thing but we can learn it on YouTube wherever so to understand like oh this kind of person what kind of person wait what make like if this person gonna happy because everyone what happiness on each person is very different and very difficult to to understand. But if you understand, like, it is overall, this is like more like human, like how we interact with humans. So, yeah, so if she can focus on that more and then she can make a system for the next step, to understand more of each individual person, the one existing and understanding for the upcoming as well. And then I think she will have better, structure how to be higher on each person the upcoming or maintain the existing team.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'll chime in. So for me, I think I agree with Alvin and I agree with Wayana, and I also agree with Nengli, actually. Very thorough analysis. Vita, I think this is her first real job outside of school. And for her first job, I think she's done wonderfully. High amount of motivation, high amount of leadership potential, high amount of energy, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, the basic. Yeah.
Basic is there.
Yeah.
But I think with any person who's, let's say, has just recently graduated, just out of school, in school, I think you get credit for taking multiple classes and sort of getting a lot of activity. And so what I'm thinking is like, it's sort of like I want to get credit for this, I want to get credit for that, I want to get credit, I want to get credit, I want to get credit. And so when and I see that too, like she wants to dip her toes into everything and but in a company, I think it's a little bit different. It's that quality versus quantity. Somebody said that. Dibba said that, quality over quantity. And so I think in the process of tying together what everyone has said, it's about influence as an HR person. You should be able to have influence as you, let's say, go to a more progressive level. Meaning, it's not just like, okay, you brought people in, you conducted, but you should be able to persuade, you should be able to counsel, you should be able to like mentor, and you should be able to understand how this person or collectively how group dynamics work to have some sort of control over the situation. And so I think Vita currently is she's very activity driven. It's a little bit like popcorn sometimes. Vita's here, Vita's there, Vita's everywhere. And that's fine, I think, for this stage because this is really good for her to discover herself and find what she's good at. And it's good that she's exposing herself to all these different opportunities. I agree with Alvin. I think that this candidate has already exhibited an abundance of all the attributes that we're looking for in involvement and developing competencies in certain attributes. This is feedback also for Alvin, too. I think you're depending a lot on Vita to supply you with a crucial need, which is getting the team that you want. So in terms of your feedback, I think it needs to be a little bit more urgent too as well. Right? To just say, hey, look, I'm really relying on you to fill out my squad's needs, and it would be very, very important for that to be done. So it's okay to push sometimes people because that's where we get essentially transformative behavior. We're not pushing and then saying, okay, you're on your own. We're pushing and then supporting you and asking you to go and win a gold medal. So in this particular regard, okay, that's my thoughts. Let's go around. Ara, you're you're not on the promotion review, but do you have any thoughts on Vita at this point?
Okay, so Basically, yes, I do see potential of her, but the only thing that related to HR team and to me, and then like to the squad is that I'm concerned of the focus itself, sir. I mean, like, me myself, I'm confused 'cause, like, I mean, like, in one way, it is good for her own development because she is like seeking for her development in any other things like digital marketing and everything. We never limit people for develop themselves, right? But in the other hand, I'm also concerning about the HR itself since like I am here as a part time and I can't be full time in here. So in some cases, a lot of cases I rely on her. But yeah, in that case, I'm not sure to say anything if about is it a good thing to actually have like too many focuses or like yeah just one. So in that case, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Over to Diva.
Yeah, I noticed this mentioned by Ara and Jing that I don't know whether it's a concern from both of you, but about the how to put it, like a jack of all trades but master of none thing, right? So in my end, I know that some that you guys mentioned are probably like the activities that in a digital marketing guild, right? But at my end, I think every person is. I think every person have a different capacity, and I think when she volunteered to every stuff that she volunteered, like say the digital marketing and then the event, at least the digital marketing, she delivered what she promises. Even what surprised me is actually we have some previous content person, right, and then they promise this and that, and then they never execute. This Vita does she didn't promise a lot, and we discussed this of like the KPI that we are not a chapter yet, but we discussed like what the KPI that we're trying to measure this month. Let's say for 40 40 clicks to the website, and then that is a small KPI, but she delivered it 2 months in a row. Whether she's having a team on her side, there's Snowfall and there's kind of whether she's doing it alone, like so at my end, at least I think when she say yes, she know the consequences and she try her best to like deliver it. The only thing that missed is probably the event thing, but just for a reminder, friendly reminder for us, this whole thing is new also for her, and I think if you limit it like what you, I think it's very common in the very beginning of the career of someone to like want to try everything, right? But the commitment is there. I can say the commitment is there, and if we try to limit this thing, we won't see another, let's say, Bayu who started out as a host and right now our CTO. We wouldn't say like we don't see. I wouldn't see who else like another Wayana who like can do revenue, who can do market building. We wouldn't find that kind of person anymore. So I think but I really want to listen like what's your concern because in my end she's doing her job, but I don't know whether by doing that job she's neglecting her main duty. So over to Jin and Ara.
Okay. For my part, yes. To answer, I think the initial question that you said, like when is jack of all trades, and when is it exploring? It really depends on the capacity of each person, um, and it also it's not a bad thing at all. It's not a bad thing to want to have a diversity of interest and to go after different things. Um, but the primary thing I think of HR is to the SLAs, right? It's really the SLAs. We spoke for months about getting the SLAs to hire within a certain time and get that. And actually, to be frank, I've also had my renaissance moment with what an SLA is. So, for example, when you're working on an SLA and you realize that the current method isn't working, then it is time to actually unfocus a little bit and diversify and try some new things. And so during that process, there can be it looks distracting or it can look like you're not really focused on it. But it is actually highly necessary. Um, if we kept on trying to let's say hire using just JobStreet or just one channel, we probably wouldn't get to our SLAs. So at some point you're gonna have to like break free and also try to discover and such. But what I think the idea is it's like it was HR fulfilling their SLAs, and I'm also, I'm
Yeah.
after lead on HR, and I cannot say that HR is fulfilling our SLAs. We are not able to recruit steadily, readily, and we're not able to, like, say, deliver with high confidence to, let's say, a squad lead that this person is a good fit, and they're not going to be, let's say, dropping out after 2.5 months, right? That would be the intent of, let's say, good SLA work. That people are a little bit different than let's say, some of the other things that we work with, right? But with some certainty, if we add a person on content and we say this is a good person, they're qualified, we should be able to feel like, okay, this person is somebody reliable. I can trust them, and they will most likely pass and develop themselves here at this company. So on that one, I think it's once again it's a little bit outside the scope of discussion for this promotion. I think it is something that is later on. But the reason why we have these discussions too is also to give a frame of reference for the next promotion, right? I
Yeah.
think exactly as Alvin has said, that within the scope of what Vita has done so far, it is I think above and beyond actually to be a full time employee. Do we really not want this person on our team? Of course not. We want Vita to be on the team. But it's also a matter of how do we guide Vita to be more effective, to help more active compete. And so part of that success, if Jiva requests that I need a content person within 2 weeks, Vita delivers a content person within 2 weeks to Diva's satisfaction. Right? If Alvin says I need a host within a certain amount of time, then such and such. And of course, Lisa can ask for more help, more resources, and she has, right? And she has the capability, and we know that, right? She has the capability to focus and ask for, let's say, the change of very large things like changing the entire company's contracts, right? So that part is available. What we're asking is also to pick and choose the right channel to focus on so that it delivers those SLAs and it delivers better employee retention and it employs better employee delivery too as well. And it's okay. I think this is this at this point is the right time to explore, diversify, and try a bunch of things. But the next point will be like, are you competent at hiring? Are you competent at retaining people? And that part right now, I think we've actually avoided that discussion. Around those. I don't know if we've actually touched upon those subjects. Is Vita confident on hiring? Is she confident on retaining people? We've been just talking about activities so far. So the focus is about competency on the next promotion review.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But okay, I just have a quick question.
Yes.
Confidence doesn't seem to be on the framework of this promotion review either, and there's nowhere for me to.
First one, right?
Yeah.
This is the context of yes.
So it's all values, but there is no KPIs. So we don't really know.
Yeah, PCI. We're looking for process involvement, leadership
okay.
involvement, project involvement.
Okay, so it is involvement then. Okay, I guess.
Right.
All right.
To make it simple, improvement, yes, you already approved it.
Yes.
You improve on anything, but regarding competency, it's a bit hard for now. Other things to note, I think, she also need to start thinking regarding SLA. Let's say if HR already make a promise within 2 weeks, of course everyone expects within the 2 weeks they can fulfill it. She also need to think about the technical way that actually is the SLA really can be delivered or not, or maybe let's say how is the process regarding the recruitment, how many that they can take between 1 week from the post itself, how many they will apply.
Yes.
I think that's the thing also a homework for her on the step of the competency itself.
Yes.
Speaking of homework, so in the past we used to do promotions like every 3 months, right? How is promotions now happening? Like I think what's important is that she also knows where she's heading in the next 3 or 6 months. She must
We're having
have-
this discussion. This is recorded and shared to be
Oh, okay.
She will watch this.
Paul can watch this.
But then, so what is it?
I think it's an evolution in being able. Alvin's used the word homework a lot, right?
Yeah.
Doing the homework and really understanding how to be competent in HR, right? Like early detection, I think is one thing. Like if somebody's about to resign, can Vita actually detect that earlier, and can she persuade this person to continue, or what is it? What is it about competency? Like her job is to fulfill the status of the squads, so that the squads remain at full strength. And if, let's say, the squads are loose or whatever, then I think it's up to HR to be able to detect that, to be able to say, hey, look, or detecting or have a solution at least, right? If this person isn't there, I've got interns, I've got other possibilities. I've got interns, I've got scholarship programs, I've got other people who are ready to fill this spot in case a person leaves, right? One way or the other, through either retention or through replacement, I think that would show competency. Also, competency would be we have our sources already. If you just develop a little bit more at STP, if you develop a little bit more at UVM, I think you'll find well springs of candidates that would be available. And we haven't even gone to the other schools too. Brawijaya, to Erlanga, all these different schools have different internship
Well, I
programs.
think that's start before our new project.
It could be on that one. Yes, Dibba.
No. I was just like waiting for you guys to take.
To just make it up. Oh, okay.
But so what does that look like in 3 or 6 months then? Is that title going to be, now she's an associate or it's
Specialist.
She's a specialist already, right? Okay, so what is that?
We haven't
That's-
voted that yet, so.
Huh?
But we haven't voted that yet, but we should, yeah.
Oh,
We haven't fully agreed on the promotion yet. So yes,
right.
if she is promoted, then she's a specialist, and then the next layer is to be a senior. And a senior should be a person that other people can follow. So a senior who already is self-guided, has a good direction of what they should do, and other people should replicate their behavior, and
Confident.
and they're confident that this method will work.
Question?
Diva. Diva.
I thought that is like a promotion to probation to full time. I think the specialist
Probation to specialist. Yeah, it's probation to specialist. The first.
Probation to specialist.
Full time course, no?
Oh, full time. Yeah. Sorry.
so what is she done?
Yeah, since we mentioned it, I remember.
Sorry, yeah, that's right. Sorry. My bad.
Since we mentioned it, I remember something actually. So this is what happens with Kani and Rizal. So both Kani and my first promotion is actually to full-time employee, right? But Rizal's first promotion is to specialist directly. So I just want to ask and like reconfirm whether like this is the full-time employee promotion or the specialist.
Exactly. Yeah. It should be like this. It should be like probate to full-time, and then
And then full-time to specialist, right?
specialist
And then
senior, and then senior to lead, then to multi-lead, the second promotion lead, and then after that to partner. So that's the train. HR assistant.
Yeah.
Okay, HR assistant.
Okay, so she is, if she passes,
It's
right,
basically full-time.
because we haven't voted yet, but I think, okay, so if she passes, she's still an assistant, right?
Yes.
But I think that the
Full time employee and
time,
full-time employee, right?
no longer on probation anymore.
Mhm.
So, but I guess, I think the bigger question here, since we all more or less agree that she is qualified for this role, is that I think the bigger conversation should be about actually what does Vita need to do moving forward. I know we used to do 3 months probation, but I think Vita is very severely empty in terms of technical knowledge and technical experience. As HR, she has like, for me, I'm passing her on all the soft skills that she has, her personality, her value fit. But in terms of technical skills, Vita tank is empty. Really.
What are the technical skills that she should have?
So things like, for example, exit interviews. These are the things that you should know when you come into a company.
Can you move closer, guys?
Huh?
Move closer.
Can you move closer?
Yeah. So exit interviews are not an innovation. They are
They are standards.
Essential.
They are business.
Essential.
This is what I call business as usual. So
Right.
even though as a HR assistant, I expect that not Vita, but I expect the role of a HR assistant to be able to come in with such knowledge already. But her tank is currently empty at the moment. So I'm only passing her, like for me, my vote to her is because she just has soft skills, she has the right BB value, she has the right personality. But she needs to gear up and level up on her technical skills, like massively just drive that up right now. If not, then, and I don't foresee that happening in the next 3 months, maybe 6 months, but that's why I'm asking that question actually. As our standard promotion time frame still 3 months.
Over to Dibba.
No, I just remember something as well. Like I agree with that. I agree with Nengli, but what I'm trying to remind everybody here is that this is like from probation to full employee, right? And the metrics that we're trying to achieve here, like PCI, right? Meaning able to involve and like contribute on the current process, right? And I think we both, I don't know, we all agree that I don't want to assume this, but we're discussing that capable of following existing process and show basically the PCI, right? So I agree that she's empty on the technical thing, but does the current process already like have that technical thing already, or
My fault, actually. I just need to claim responsibility for that. I started HR with 0 as well, right? So in terms of HR, I'm managing from basically no experience, really. Like an exit interview, these things are things that we're discovering along the way. So in that particular regard, I want Vita to extend past my current knowledge point. Alvin said, I think Vita, I'm probably chapter lead, but I would like somebody else to be chapter lead at a certain point, much like in digital marketing, right? I know a few things, but the person who succeeds me should know more and should be more competent than I am on this particular dimension. So if she doesn't do, let's say, the technical part, it's mainly because she was never instructed and she had no resources to learn about that, unless she learned it on her own, right? Which I think a competent person will do. And that is what we are asking for on, let's say, the next level up.
Next
That-
exactly. Exactly my point. I mean, like she's aiming for like a full time, right? So she already like passes the.
But we've already passed that. We're talking about.
Or should we just move to a vote?
That's all I mean.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, that's right. We're right now. Discussion's all good. Okay, so Alvin has had the motion to promote Vita to full time, and it's been supported by both Nengli, and it's been seconded by Nengli and Wayana.
Ini best nih internetnya yang jujur.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor of this motion?
Guys, your internet sucks.
All in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So motion carries. All right. So Vita will receive a full-time promotion. All right. Thank you very much for that. We should applaud. Okay. Good. Okay. Now the feedback. Now the feedback for the next.
Oh my goodness.
So. Okay, so let's continue this discussion about what Vita would need in order to get to our next promotion. So, no one talked about technical capabilities, and part of these technical capabilities I do not have. I do not have an HR background. I have not been able to, let's say, teach Vita or Ara about the technical abilities. What I have been able to do is to share, let's say, experimental abilities. So we look at how we make decisions, and we look at the results, and we try to tie how those works together. We try to detect red flags. We try to create logical processes that would develop a candidate to become capable in their roles when they join. So that's what I've been able to share, right? Now, in terms of like technical capabilities, like arranging even health insurance, we didn't have that, right? Or exit interviews, we didn't have that. So from Vita's perspective, from, let's say, the company's perspective, I agree with Diva. These are new processes and these are new innovations that we've had to kind of stumble upon on our own. But in terms of, let's say, a full-fledged basket of technical skills, what would you imagine that would look like?
I'm not an HR expert.
No one here.
No one here is. And this is where I find, sorry.
Go ahead.
actually this is where Vita really needs to focus because nobody here, I mean, except for you and Ara, right? Other than you and Ara, nobody else can do your job.
I know.
Yeah, so the focus must be HR. Her focus is laser focus. It has to be, and her impact is probably greater by focusing on HR than actually doubling up and helping others in DM or like in content and others. I mean, it's great for it's great help, but I think this is not where the real impact is.
This is why I also asked about how many people we hired from social media, right? Because if it is leading, let's say, to a result, then it should be amplified. Maybe we should put out more ads and more whatever so that we get that channel. But this is what I was talking with you last night about, right? Like I was using YouTube ads to kind of like promote the intern videos. But I think it is, let's say, at this point, tolerable if she's trying to learn a skill that could be scaled to help out. Like if you want to develop a university relations in the very first, it might look like you're not being focused. It's like, why don't you go and hire people? But like it takes years to develop university relationships, and then after a year, then you start getting the fruits, right? And this starts coming back. And I agree also on digital marketing. It could be a very, very powerful play to use, let's say, the Instagram channel in order to recruit, because it is a fairly good communication tool. I've not discouraged her to, let's say, not do that, but it's also to like, does that actually produce impact? Does that actually create a chain of people who want to work here, a successful candidate chain? So I think in that particular regard, Vita needs to consider the end result of these journeys. If the end result is an investment, it is truly an investment. If you believe that this investment will pay off, then continue investing in it. If you are just like popcorning and doing a little bit of this and this and this for fun, then that's a lack of focus. So in that dimension, maybe she achieves a breakthrough, right? Like I remember even in Bayou's case when he started as a host, Bayou wasn't the best host, right? There were hosts that were far more capable than Bayou at the time. I remember, and so he pivoted and eventually found that he could actually help hosting by creating tools, and it actually worked. It was still hosting, but it was in the service of the communication process or some other aspect of it. So in Vita's journey, I think the focus is always yes on the SLA, right? We need to deliver. The pathway to get there needs to be, I think, more deliberate. And events, activities, all these things, they are sort of hard to measure. Like we all felt really good about like the charity event. We all felt really good about the Christmas event. But how do we measure that?
Yeah.
Do you go on the ESS and say, hey, would that make you more likely to retain at the company for another year? It's kind of it is kind of tough. There is a part of HR that I noticed is it should be done no matter what. It's not a distraction. We should have celebrations, yes. We should have culture building events, yes. And these need to have, I think, a tolerance for what is the tangible impact on it. But similarly, I think Vita needs to also really think about her pipeline, like the sales, right? You have a pipeline so that, let's say, when you want to get 6 partners on board, it's not like you just have to scramble and such.
Yesterday when I asked her what's the empty pipeline, she told me it's empty.
There's one guy, Sharif.
I think she's talking about new candidates now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
Sharif.
is not new, right?
Yeah.
Like upper funnel,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also told her right now, if we add MD candidates without adding all of the other chapters, we'll probably collapse right now too as well. Because right now we have not enough. Okay, we're reverse pyramid now, right? So we have very few operations, with fewer content, and the MD is getting pretty full now, right? There's almost 4 or 5 people on MD. So this is not balanced. There's 4 people on MD.
But not, I mean, yeah.
There's 3 people on content. 2 people on content.
To be honest, this
Okay, this is not part of the discussion.
Yeah,
discussion.
sorry.
Just explain. So, okay, I've taken up enough of the floor. Let me share the floor. Dibba.
No, yeah, I was just about to say that is not the part of. But yeah, there's only 3% in content.
This is why yesterday I set a new budget for the content, and we need to build it Okay, right. Become content.
Yeah. Vitas, it's about Vitas promotion. Vita promotion.
Guys, sorry, I have to run on an interview,
Okay,
so
that's fine.
I also have a bonus meeting as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So essentially the promotion is finalized, and then I will share the tips, right, with Vita about what she should do to get to our next promotion. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating today. I thought it was great. We had a great discussion of our underlying values, and yeah, we'll look forward to seeing other future promotion reviews. Promotion reviews, just to let you know, have variable sliding. They have about 6 month buffers now. You can apply early if you want. You can apply later if you want to. There's just kind of recommended timeline. So it's not like
Okay.
you apply. Yeah, you apply when you're ready. I think it's much better than you have to apply now.
Yeah,
And
I think that's better.
yeah.
For some people, learning pace is very different than the others.
Some people might grow at different speeds too.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's settled. And let me take a look also at for you, Dibba, about the case of specialist and full time. Yeah. I think I'll make sure that's right. Okay.
What?
The specialist case, the specialist and stuff.
Sub-discussion.
Oh, I'll just go. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.